Now, in a bid to tackle coronavirus crisis in the national capital, Aam Aadmi Party government has decided to start random testing in areas identified as coronavirus hotspots. Kejriwal government will become the first state government to begin random testing and is expected to conduct more than 1,000 tests per day. Delhi will exponentially ramp up testing and will conduct more than 1 lakh tests in the next few days. AAP government is ready with blueprint for increasing hospital beds and isolation centres if city sees rapid increase in COVID-19 patients there. On the advice of a special experts committee, Delhi government has formulated a 5-point program to combat coronavirus.
1 अप्रैल के बाद से लगभग हम 500 डेली टेस्टिंग कर रहे हैं और अब 500 से भी ज़्यादा 1000 के करीब डेली टेस्टिंग हमारी पहुंच रही है और इसको बातें आने वाले समय में बढ़ाते जाएंगे। हमने 1 लाख टेस्टिंग किट्स के ऑर्डर दे दिए हैं। शुक्रवार को से 1 लाख टेस्टिंग किट आ जाएंगी तो उसके बाद हम बहुत बड़े लेवल पे हम टेस्टिंग कर सकते हैं।
We have Ankit Tyagi joining us on the phone line. Ankit, this is the need of the hour, random testing across the national capital, wherever it's identified as a hotbed. Here we're looking at random testing being proposed by Arvind Kejriwal. Do we have sufficient test kits to carry out that kind of random tests?
Well, once the government of Delhi gets 1 lakh testing kits, it is going to be in a position, at least in the hotspots of Delhi, as at this point of time, around the Nizamuddin West area and also in the East Delhi's Dilshad Garden area. This is where the Delhi government wants to, in fact, go in for a focused random testing. People, those who are living in this area, even if they are asymptomatic, few people can be randomly picked up and their test could also be done. Remember, at this point of time, Delhi has so far done about 8,500 tests, and as Chief Minister was telling us earlier, that the capacity is at least as of now about 1,000 tests per day. Now they want to increase it, and specifically in the hotspot zones, because remember the lockdown is going to come to an end on 14th of April. This will also be part of Delhi government to know the preparedness and also the extent of which to which this virus has spread. Nizamuddin West area particularly, where Tablighi Jamaat incident took place and a lot of people have been under isolation and quarantine, this is the area where they will focus largely the random testing. And apart from the symptomatic patients, those who are coming with any respiratory problems or lung diseases in the hospitals, now this is going to be the next big step from the government of Delhi. They have also laid out a plan to exponentially increase the availability of beds in the hospitals and also the isolation centers across Delhi. More details of this would be, in fact, given to us at 1 p.m. when the Chief Minister addresses a press conference.
Need of the hour, Delhi government, they're deciding to carry out random tests in days to come once they procure at least 1 lakh test kits. Now, with just a week left for the scheduled end of nationwide lockdown, Defence Minister Rajnath Singh is now chairing a crucial meeting at his residence on the lockdown's exit plan. Home Minister Amit Shah, along with other ministers, including Prakash Javadekar, Smriti Irani, Piyush Goyal and Nirmala Sitharaman, are present in the meet. The key meet comes on the back of an empowered group meeting led by Home Secretary just yesterday. Prime Minister Modi had formed an empowered group on strategic issues related to lockdown. Government discussed options of containment of hotspot clusters, phased opening of non-hotspot areas, economic markets, and even pushing for business continuity plan there at various levels is what is being discussed. State governments, however, are divided on the lockdown exit plan. Yogi government, Telangana government have particularly favoured an extension of the lockdown. Assam government, on the other hand, is considering to start permit system for entry after lockdown ends. Here is a very strategic plan that is being chalked out. Of course, no announcement and what has been decided as yet, but we do know we're just barely a few days towards when the lockdown would end. We're on April 7th, just barely a week before which the lockdown will come to an end. 14th of April is when it would end, and here is the government coming together to chalk out a plan on the exit exit plan of the lockdown there on how to lift this lockdown, but to ensure containment of the spread of virus. So we could see a partial lockdown. We could also see the lockdown being extended. All of these details will be discussed and eventually announced by the government. Here is a strategy meet. Let's quickly go over to Munish from Delhi joining us. Munish, take us through what's happening at this strategy meet. Any word on whether the lockdown will be extended or will it be lifted entirely? Of course, in hotspots, it might just be prolonged a little longer.
Yeah, well, as far as the strategic meeting is concerned, now they are focusing on two main issues. First, lifting of the lockdown and whether this lockdown has to be lifted partially in a zone-wise, cluster-wise, district-wise or state-wise. The second is how important is lifting this lockdown in keeping in the view is the economic condition of the country, because there are many business houses who are suffering since the lockdown is in place. So it is also important for the state governments and also for the center to lift the lockdown. But the priority is being given to the coronavirus concern, and at this point of time what we have been given to understand is that the complete lifting of lockdown seems impossible at this point of time, but there are some business houses in some state and at least in some places where there are low number of cases, there are chances that the lockdown may be lifted in those zones. But those zones will be identified, and then only after consultation with the state government, the partial lifting of lockdown will be done. So it will be a very long process as far as lifting of lockdown is concerned, because the primary concern for the central government and state government is the coronavirus cases. If the cases are in coming days going to be low, then there are chances that this lockdown will be lifted. And if the cases are increasing, for example, states like Uttar Pradesh, Maharashtra, they are seeing spike in cases. So in those states there may be lockdown which will continue even after April 21st.
Going over to Divesh as well, joining us from Mumbai. Divesh, strategy meet is on to decide on the lockdown's exit plan. What do you think is expected out of this for Maharashtra?
Nabila, the Health Minister for Maharashtra, Rajesh Tope, had pointed out, and he is already informed people that people should be prepared that the lockdown may be increased. It may go beyond April 14th. So people need to be prepared for that. As we see, there are a large number of cases which have happened in Maharashtra. The number has already reached, after the morning bulletin, it has already reached 890. And there have been over 52 deaths in Maharashtra itself. 34 deaths have been reported from Mumbai, the financial capital of the country. So it is a time where the community spread, which needs to be contained in a massive level. We are seeing that there is a number of cases coming out of huge slum areas like Dharavi, like Badanpura, various ghettos. We have seen sudden spurt of cases. Also, we saw that Matoshri, which is the private residence of Chief Minister Uddhav Thackeray, tea stall operator who was operating close to Matoshri, has been tested COVID positive. Several hundreds of tests had to be done of all the persons who had come in contact with this tea stall owner. So there are a large number of cases, and also many deaths have been reported. So as of now, the health minister has said that people need to be prepared if the lockdown is increased in Maharashtra.
Right. Thank you very much, Divesh, for joining us with those details. Now, going over to the hunt for Tablighi Jamaat chief Maulana Azad, it seems like the cops there aren't able to nab this man. Maulana Azad still on the run, even though the number of coronavirus cases related to the Nizamuddin Markaz there continues to rise. Delhi Police Crime Branch has launched a probe into Tablighi Jamaat's funding now. All bank accounts linked to Jamaat are under scanner. On Monday, the Health Ministry said that at least 1,445 coronavirus cases in the country are linked to the Tablighi Jamaat event. 21 fresh cases in Uttar Pradesh and 10 fresh cases were reported from Delhi as well. Tamil Nadu remains the worst hit, with a total of 570 cases linked to Nizamuddin event, and over 25,000 people who came in contact with the Jamaatis have now been quarantined across of India and many test results are currently awaited. The Delhi police has served a second notice to Maulana Azad seeking additional information from him pertaining to congregation of Tablighi Jamaat in Delhi.
The chief of Markaz, in his reply to the Delhi police, maintains that because he is in isolation, he can't give answers to the questions asked by them. Remember, last week there was a notice issued to Maulana Azad in which he was asked 26 specific questions, especially in regards to the funding of Markaz and all those who attended the gathering at Markaz Nizamuddin. But as far as Maulana Azad is concerned, he maintains that because he is in self-quarantine, he do not have access to his laptop, computer or mobile phone, and that is why he can't provide the details. But as far as Delhi police is concerned, they maintains that this is just an excuse. They will issue a fresh notice to Maulana Azad again. And as far as the case is concerned, they maintain that at this point of time, the priority is to find out every person who attended the gathering at Markaz, because in last few days, what we have seen is that most of the COVID-19 positive cases have been related to Markaz, and finding every person who attended the gathering is the utmost priority of Delhi police. Munish Pandey in Delhi for India Today.
Now, the number of COVID-19 cases in India are doubling every 4 days. India Today's Data Intelligence Unit has put together this data to help us all understand where each country now stands in this battle against coronavirus. My colleague Akshita takes us through.
India is at this point at a very, very crucial stage in the fight against coronavirus. And we tell you why in the numbers that we put out now, pulled out by the Data Intelligence Unit of the India Today group. Now, India at this point, the number of cases of coronavirus is actually doubling every 4 days. And if we look at this particular graph, you look at Spain, you look at Italy, and you look at the United States. It's after the death toll really crossed the mark of 100 that you see their cases really rising, touching the 10,000 mark in the case of Italy, Spain, and the United States, just about reaching there as well. It's at this stage that most countries have either been able to arrest the growth and the spurt in the number of cases or completely lose control. And India's just crossed that line. You see this particular graph of India, it's just crossed 100. The death toll at this point is at about 110 and over that. And it's at this stage now in the next few days whether we'll know if India manages to flatten the curve or if it goes the United States way. You see the graph is very, very similar to how the United States is going. But will India manage to do what the likes of South Korea and Japan have done, where the death toll after it crossed 100, they managed to immediately flatten it out. And India will be hoping to emulate the example of South Korea and Japan in the next few days. If it doesn't manage to, it will unfortunately follow the same graph as that of the United States, in which case the death toll will only keep steadily rising and go to the 1,000 mark as well. At this point, the number of cases of coronavirus in Spain is doubling every 2 days. In India, it's doubling every 4 days.
Now, India has responded to United States President Donald Trump's threat over the supply of hydroxychloroquine, the anti-malaria drug used in the treatment of coronavirus patients. The Ministry of External Affairs has said that the drug will be kept in licensed category and that the demand will continuously be monitored. The government has also clarified that with the current stock position, Indian companies there will be able to meet the export commitments. The government has also reiterated that India's needs are priority and that exports will happen to neighboring countries first, then other countries. The MEA statement comes even after Trump hinted at a possible retaliation if India does not export hydroxychloroquine as requested on April 5th during his conversation with Prime Minister Narendra Modi.
Spoke to him Sunday morning, called him, and I said we'd appreciate. Spoke to him Sunday morning, called him, and I said we'd appreciate your allowing our supply to come out. If he doesn't allow it to come out, that would be okay. But of course, there may be retaliation. Why wouldn't there be?
Hi everyone, Preeti Chaudhary here. Hope you like this video. For latest news and analysis, like and subscribe to the India Today YouTube channel. And don't forget to press the bell icon to stay updated. Thank you for watching.